Okay, next we need to talk about who checks your credit history. It's very important to know about this. To be able to check your credit history, an organization needs a couple of things. First, they need your permission to check your credit history, and they also have to have a valid business purpose to be able to do so. It's not like you can just go and check somebody's credit history just because you feel like it. You can't do that. There has to be a valid business purpose. And now, what's considered to be a valid business purpose? So, for example, banks and other lenders, such as car lending companies, mortgage lenders, also utilities and organizations like that, cell phone companies, potential landlords. These are organizations that have this valid business purpose. Simply put, they want to know if you're good enough, that you're low enough risk that they don't have to stress about whether you're going to pay them or not. That's really all there is to it. So we need to talk a little bit about the credit report, and that's what contains the underlying information that the score derives from. So on your credit report, you'll find 3 or 4 sections. And what you're going to find there is, first off, the personal identification section, then the inquiries, then the core of everything for most people is the accounts reporting. And then finally, there's a section that may or may not have information, and that's called public record information. So for the first 2 areas, the personal information and the inquiries, you just want to ensure that the information that is found there is accurate. The most important section, as I indicated already, is the accounts reporting. So what you're going to find in the accounts reporting is basically this. You're going to get the organization's name. So whatever bank it is, or a phone company, or car lender. Then they're going to show the balance owing as of the most recent statement. Okay, then they're also going to show the required payment as of the most recent statement. If you check your statement, you'll find the same information on both the statement and on the credit report. So a credit rating, what is it? It's a way of indicating the payment status on a particular account. So a good rating is going to show that the payment was made as agreed and on time. Those are important terms in credit speak, as agreed and on time. Remember those. You'll see those on credit reports. The final section on a credit report is the public record information section. This is where bad news can generally be found. Things like collection accounts, bankruptcies, consumer proposals, lawsuits and judgments, and so on, they're going to show up in this area. Ideally, you want to have a blank public record section. And one more thing I need to mention. What if there are any problems or inaccuracies on the credit report? It's your responsibility to report these. The credit bureau will provide a method to report these problems, and then they will follow up and investigate. There are some misconceptions about the idea of inquiries. So when credit is checked, that's called an inquiry. There are 2 types of inquiries, and these are called hard and soft inquiries. Hard inquiries are done by a financial organization, and they're completed as a result of your application for credit. Okay, so these are the ones that actually do affect your credit, but they have a very minimal effect on your credit, except in unusual circumstances. So for example, if you are applying for a lot of new credit in a very short period of time, it has a magnifying effect. Soft inquiries, on the other hand, don't affect your credit score at all. They are completed by, for example, individuals like you or organizations that need to check your credit for reasons that are unrelated to pursuit of new credit. If you'd like to check your own credit, you can look on your bank's website for a link to check your own credit history. And now we're going to talk about credit scores. First off, credit score is just a number, nothing else. The lowest possible number is 300 and the highest is 900. Now, about 80% of all credit scores are actually clustered between 700 and 900. Credit scores come from a formula, and it's often referred to as the FICO formula. That is actually named after an American corporation. There were a couple of mathematicians a long time ago, and they were the ones who created the formula. That's why it's called the FICO formula. Now, on the slide that you're looking at right now, you're going to see elements that go into the formula and their relative weighting. Of these components, the payment history and the credit utilization components will have the most weight.